Are you ready to learn how to loom knit the acorn stitch? Alright, so I did a simple edge, a garter stitch border, and another simple edge on the other side. And I wanted to show you that the reason I converted this stitch was because I wanted a crochet looking lovey blanket. So I did loom knit most of it and I gave it a crochet edge. Now this pattern is coming later on. This is a tiny doll, but I'm going to be doing the teddy bear. I also made a small washcloth, which combined with some handmade soap, I think would be a lovely gift. Hey, it's Denise from LoomaHat.com, and for more information and a complete list of supplies, visit the website. And keep in mind that this is only a stitch pattern and not a project. Alright, let's begin with the setup. So I'm going to call this row 0. And for that, you're going to do an eWrap 1, knit 1, eWrap 1, purl 3. So first, I do my edge, which is 2 knit stitches. You do whatever is going to work for you as far as your edge. That's not part of the pattern. And then we're going to do the 6 stitch pattern starting with an eWrap. So completely wrap your peg and knit off. And the next version of the knit stitch is the flat. So you place the yarn over the peg and knit off. You're going to repeat your eWrap, so wrap your peg and knit off. And then we have an eWrap, flat knit, eWrap, and 3 purls. So put your yarn under, scoop it up to create the new loop, take the old one off, put the new one on your peg, pull the yarn, and tighten. Let's do that again. This is your second purl, scoop it up, create a new loop, take the old one off, put the new one on, and pull. And now your third purl stitch right here. Scoop up the yarn, create a new loop, take the old one off, put the new one on, and pull. There are your 6, and now you're just going to repeat that 6 stitch pattern for the length of your project. Now I repeated the stitch pattern 3 times and gave myself a 2 knit edge at the end. Now we're ready for row 1, where we're going to do a knit 3, yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over. And my knit 3 may seem more like a central double decrease, but we're going to call it a knit 3 together to make things easier. So first, let's do those 3 flat knit stitches. Right, here's your third one, and then we're going to get to the next peg and we're going to remove the loop off that peg to do the yarn over. And when you remove it, it is an eWrap, so you unravel that eWrap and place it over the 5th peg. And now on peg number 6, you're going to take the loop off, unravel it, and bring it back to the 5th peg, which now has 3 loops. So take your yarn and go to peg 4 and 5, place it on top, and knit off those 3 loops. And now this peg number 6 right here needs the yarn over. You have 6 stitches here, and you're going to have to invade your repeat, which is the next 6 set, in order for that yarn over to have a place to anchor, right? So we're going to repeat it. We bring our yarn from here, from that peg, and we're going to knit those 3 flat knit stitches, and then we're going to do the yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over again. So remove the loop, unravel it, bring it to peg 5, go to peg 6, take the loop off, unravel it, and bring it back to peg 5. Then take your yarn and lay it loosely over these next pegs, which are 4 and 5. Knit off those 3 loops, and then you have that yarn over at the end of the repeat. And now you're going to do it again. That's what I'm going to do. Remember that I repeated the 6 stitch pattern 3 times. So this is personally my last repeat. right? So I come here after my 3 knit stitches, and I'm gonna do the yarn overs and what I'm calling a knit 3 together. And then you'll notice that I end with 2 knit stitches, which help to anchor that last yarn over. So here's my 2 knit stitches as edges. And now we're ready for row 2, where we're going to simply do 3 purl stitches and 3 knit stitches. So I'm doing my edges, which isn't part of the pattern, and then my 6 stitch pattern. So this is super easy, right? Because you guys already know how to do this. You're going to do 3 knit stitches. You're going to do 3 purl stitches first to start your row. And after this one, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to knit those 3 knit stitches. And remember that I'm using the flat version. You can use the U version if it's easier. Do not use the eWrap, okay? Now we're going to do that 3 knit stitches. 3 purl stitches. Why do I keep saying that? 3 purls and then 3 knits. Keep going for the length of your project. Alright, so row 3 is super easy as well. All you're going to do is flip that pattern. So knit 3, purl 3, and of course I'm going to do my edges. And by the way, for the washcloth I did a garter edge, so every other row I did purl instead of knit. So now let's go ahead and do those 3 knit stitches. I'm using the flat version of the knit stitch again. As I said, you can use the eWrap, and then I'm going to do the 3 purl stitches, and then I'm just going to repeat that for the length of my project, and you do the same. For row 4, we flip it back to a purl 3, knit 3, because this is actually a basket weave stitch, so it follows that pattern, right? And you guys already know how to do this purl 3, knit 3, so let's hop to it. For row 5, you're going to flip the pattern again to a knit 3, purl 3. You guys are experts. Row 6 changes things a bit. You're going to do a purl 3, eWrap 1, knit 1, eWrap 1. You've done this before. So finish your edges and then start on those 3 purl stitches. You guys know how to do the purl stitch. Pull from the top, create a new loop, take the old one off, put the new one on, and pull. And now for the eWrap, you completely wrap the peg and knit off. And I wanted to show you a U-wrap. So you half wrap the peg and knit off, and that's the alternative to the tighter flat stitch. Alright, so we have eWrap, knit, eWrap, and then you start your 6 stitch pattern again. And for me, I found that the flat stitch just looked better. If you want to know what the classic or true knit stitches, I'll put a link in the description so you can know all your knit stitches and choose what works best for you. But remember, the eWrap is only in certain sections. Alright, we're ready for the next row. So row 7 is the flip side of row 1. So this time you're going to yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over, knit 3. Right? So like before, I'm doing my edge, not part of the pattern, and this is my 6 stitch pattern. So here I'm going to start with that yarn over. So I need to take the loop off that first peg, unravel, take it to the middle peg, get to the next one, take the stitch off, unravel my eWrap, and place it on that middle stitch. And now I have 3 stitches on that peg. I bring my working yarn over these first 2 pegs, and I'm going to knit off those 3 stitches. And by the way, you could do these one at a time if it's difficult to do all 3. And then you're going to take that working yarn, lay it over that 3rd peg, go on over to the next one, right, because you need 3 knit stitches. So lay the yarn on top, knit off your 3 flat knit stitches, and then you're going to repeat that pattern for the length of your project. So continue with your yarn over, knit 3 together, yarn over, knit 3. You then are ready for row 8, which is simply a knit 3, purl 3. Easy. Flip that for row 9, and now you're going to do a purl 3, knit 3. Flip it for row 10, and now do a knit 3, purl 3. Yeah, flip again for row 11, purl 3, knit 3. Now for row 12, things do change a wee bit, and so now you're going to eWrap 1, knit 1, eWrap 1, purl 3. And as always, my little edge right here. And now you know how to do the next 6, right? You're going to completely wrap your peg, knit off, knit that 2nd, eWrap that 3rd, and eWrap, knit, eWrap, purl, right? You know how to do this. Now repeat rows 1 through 12 as many times as necessary for your project. Hey, did you know that currently I have 52 stitch patterns on a playlist? Yeah, you'll find one that you really like. So I'm going to give you a link in the description. Make sure to look for it, as well as my stitch book in my store, which also has a link. So what do you think about the pattern? Is it not gorgeous? Alright, click the link in the description for way more stitch patterns, and don't forget to come back and loom with me again, especially when it's time to make this cool, lovey blanket. Alright guys, till next time.